वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Chapter 2, verse 69, continue. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam, ya nisha sarvabhutanam, tasyam jagarti sanyami. Tasyam jagarti sanyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani. Yasyam jagrati bhutani. Sa nisha pashyato munehe. Sa nisha pashyato munehe. That which is nigh to all beings, in that state of divine knowledge and supreme bliss, an emancipated person keeps awake, and that the ever-charging worldly happiness in which all beings keep awake is nigh to enlightened seers. Right. Okay. As I told you, out of this 8 verses, last, not 8, 18 last verses of Sthita Prajna, I love the most. Okay. As we were discussing last week, there are so many different commentary, different thoughts. The sages, the scholar, the great men have come with their opinion, explanation, and commentary, interpretation. The most which I like, as I was sharing last week, that when it's duty, when it's work, okay, I am awake. But when the fruit comes, I sleep. I sleep. That's supposed to be in one's life. Okay. Okay. The worldly people remain busy in hoarding wealth and enjoying pleasures and value them. Yes. Money, money, money all the time. Okay. When we are discussing this, when I am trying to explain you this, right, it does not mean that one should not have money. But the outlook should be changed, that it's not all about money. The life is not all about the money. There are something more beyond this, or we should try to see beyond the horizon. Horizon of money, no. After that, there is something. So, they are very clever and expert in worldly affairs. Yeah. So, they are known as clever people. Yeah. They learn different types of arts and crafts, make several inventions, regard the worldly achievement as their progress. Unfortunately, nowadays the measurement of your success is only and only wealth. I don't know when we will be coming to that canto, because most of them you attend the Bhagavad class also. In the Bhagavad, in the 10th canto, if I am not mistaken, in the chapter 52, it's a letter written to Bhagavan Krishna by Rukmini. So the wise man has told that this is the first love letter ever, which is written by Rukmini to Bhagavan Krishna. And in that, it's 7 verses only, 7 verses. In one of the verses, Rukmini mentioned that Vidya Vayo Dravina Dhama Tulyam. So first quality is Vidya, the knowledge. Then the Y is age. And third she puts Dravin means money or the wealth. And fourth is the Dham, the house. Dham, I'm just literal meaning I'm giving, okay? There are, when it comes, we will see. Vidya Vayo Dravina Dhama Tulyam. The first is Vidya. And third, she has put Dravin. Nowadays, first is the money. Second is the house. Vidya and it's okay. It's okay. So, what a big fall. So, we were discussing about make several inventions regard the worldly achievement as their progress. Measurement. Tape measure is only wealth. Nothing else. Nothing else. Glorify worldly things, perform austere penance in order to enjoy pleasure. They do the bhakti, but the inner agenda is only and only money. To enjoy pleasures by living forever. Worship God. Recite sacred texts. Incantation, money, mantra, etc. All they do everything, but only for money, only for money. But an enlightened, liberated, exalted soul and strivers, seekers, perceive all this as dark. When I say dark, secondary, not primary. Okay. Perceive this as dark. They don't attach the least importance to such a progress. We have seen that story of Nachiketa from Kathopanishad many years back in our Gita class, when in the month of Shravan we used to take the different subject, and that we have discussed the story of Nachiketa in Kathopanishad. Okay, I am not going in detail, but when Nachiketa went to Yamraj, god of death, okay, and Nachiketa, small child, maybe 8-10 years. Nachiketa was there for the Atma Gnan. Okay? Loosely translation, self-realization. Okay? And he was seeking that. He was there for this purpose. Nachiketa, Yamaraj started giving him all kind of temptation in terms of boon. I will give you this. But Nachiketa was firm. If you want to give this, that's fine. I'll accept it. But not at the cost of this Atma Vidya or Atma Gnan. Are you getting my point? So, Bhagwan, you want to give me that worldly pleasure? Yes, I'll accept it. It's not a problem. But it should not be at the cost of your bhakti. I need everything, but not at the cost of your bhakti. So, in that context, and strive or perceive all this as dark or secondary. You give it, that's fine. But if it is at the cost of your bhakti, that means if I forget you and totally engage and involve in worldly pleasure, that should not happen. That should not happen. And that should be the motto and ideal of our lives. Yes, we need it. We are in this worldly life. We are in this material world. Yes, to survive we need it. But Bhagavan, my focus should not be changed. Should not be changed. If that way agree, not with anybody else, with ourselves. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you for this thing. I have to agree. I have to convince myself for this. That yes, I'll need everything. I will enjoy everything. But not at the cost of bhakti. My mind should be in his lotus feet. In his lotus feet. Yeah. So, because from their viewpoint, the entire world up to the abode of Brahma has no existence at all. Nasato vidyate bhavo brahma bhuvan loka punarvartino arjuna. The worldly people remain engrossed in worldly affairs and think that there is nothing besides this pleasure. Nanyat astiti vadinah. We have discussed this in this same chapter.
It's
And
20
16th
hours.
chapter, Bhagavan says, Kamo pabhoga parma eta vaditi nischitaha. Spirituality is beyond the access of their intellect. And that's where we see this. Geeta was Jwanishyak, but not now. We will deliberately refrain our children to read Gita. What we call in Gujarati, bhavo thai jai. I mean, the narrator of Gita, Bhagwan Krishna, is householder. The person who was listening to Bhagwan Krishna, Arjun, also was householder. Then how come we, if we read the Gita, become Bhavo. No, it never happened. But the myth is there. The misconcept is there. No, 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 not now. You don't have to go to the Gita class now. This is the time to read the Gita. What are you going to do if you start reading Gita after 60, 70? You can't hold the book. You can't hold the phone. You can't move the cursor nicely on your computer. What's the point? Now we need. Now we need. So, spirituality is beyond the access of their intellect. But a striver following the spiritual path, besides knowing spirituality, also knows the world. Because he will rightly understand the world. Because he has chosen the path of spirituality. And then he will know that nothing exists besides the Brahman in this world. Everything is the divinity. Everywhere is his touch. Therefore, here the term is used, Pashyato. Pashyat means to see, the literal meaning. Pashyato term has been used for them. The worldly people perceive only the night. They remain asleep in dark. They don't perceive the day. They don't perceive the day means they don't perceive the divinity. They will, I always use the example of flower. They will take rose, beautiful. That's it. That's a worldly aspect. But those who are on the spiritual path will see the divinity in it. How fragile is the petals. Who puts the fragrance in it? How come the thorn and the beauty coexist? What message is there behind it? So, the divinity. So, they don't perceive the day, means they don't perceive the divinity. But a yogi perceives the day as well as the night. Because what is night? What is dark? Absence of light. What is dark? Absence of light. It's very simple. Very simple. Okay? I mean, you come in the room and the room is full of dark. You took matchbox, struck. Absence of light. It was the dark. The moment light is there, dark cannot exist. Cannot exist. So, yogi perceives the day as well as the night, the worldly pleasure and prosperity as dark. They know. They know. This is the difference between the two. For example, a child has perceived, very nice example Swami Ram Sukdas ji has given. For example, a child has perceived only childhood, not youth. But an old man, besides perceiving the old age, has also perceived childhood and youth. Isn't it? Simple example, but very good and beautiful, powerful example. He has gone through what is childhood, what is youth. A hoarder of wealth does not know renunciation, while a renunciate who has renounced the mundane wealth knows the value of collection of wealth and also its renunciation. He will exactly understand. This is a rule that a man engrossed in worldly affairs cannot know the reality about the world. By keeping himself aloof from the world, he can know the reality about the world because, in fact, he is separate from the world. Similarly, a person can realize God by identifying himself with God because he means the self, has his identity with God. Because when we try to discuss or when we try to understand the matter and spirit in Gujarati, Jad and Chetan, loosely living and non-living. Okay, right? We are, in the scripture has mentioned very nicely, Amrutasya putraha. Putraha, son. Amruta, immortal. And Bhagavad Gita has very clearly mentioned the death comes to the body, not to the Atma. Atma is immortal. And what is Atma? Part of Paramatma. So our connection is with Paramatma. World is today there, tomorrow it may not be. Before 65 or before 60s, there was no Lenesia. And who knows? It may not be there after 200 years. So it's a material world. But the Atma, the immortal, it's just there. So his identity with God, his means our identity should be with God. Try to read between the lines. When it is mentioned his, when it applies to all of us. He who is established in ease, okay, knows both is and not. Here is means real and not unreal. Okay. So he who is established in is knows both is and not. But he who is established in not does not know, does not perceive even not in its reality as ever non-existent. Then how will he know is the real? He will never know the real. Never know the real. He can't know. He can't know. Because world, okay, forget about the world. Chair of my house, couch of my house falls under matter, okay? Chair will never know, or swing will never know who is Jaidev Bhai, or my car will never know, because that falls under not unreal. Whereas I fall under is. So I will know what is swing, what is car, what is couch, what is chair. I try to simplify this sort of complicated statement as per my capacity. So he can't know, he has no capacity to know them. Swing has no capacity. So those who are only and only involved in worldly affairs will never understand unless he changes or she changes his or her thinking. First of all, by asking, who am I? Am I only the body or something else? Okay. Anyway, so he knows, he who knows is, does not bear ill will with the person who assumes the existence of not. But the person who assumes the existence of not bears ill will with the person who knows is, because it's his limitations. For that, I must be honest that I have not read the Bible, but when the Jesus Christ, we from India, so we say Jesus Christ, you might say Jesus, okay? When he was on cross, okay? That was his last prayer. Oh God, forgive them because they don't know what they are doing. So, no ill will. Because they don't know. They got their limitations. Oh God, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. In that context, our sages has mentioned Manushya Rupena Mrugas Charante. They are in the structure, in the body of human, but they are like a cattle, animal. Manushya Rupena Mrugas Charante. They don't know. So there are people going to criticize. There are people who will have that ill feel, ill will, ill beliefs, ill opinion, ill comment. Because they are ill. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But we will have to create our own path. We have to create our own path. So, this is the 69th verse, and such a nice Sanisha Pashyato Munehe, and Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sanisha Pashyato Munehe. We still want to see Swami Vivekananda's commentary on this verse, but now today I don't want to start, right? We'll see next week, right? In today's discussion, whatever you like, whatever you understood, whatever you enjoy, credit goes to all the wise men, all the saints, all the scholars. Whatever I have heard, I have read, I have studied, credit goes to scripture. Nothing belongs to me. Okay? And as we know that our main reference book is Sadhak Sanjivani from Swami Ram Sukdas Ji. If we have to, no, not have to, if you want to, okay, understand Bhagavad Gita, we have to take Arjun's path. And that's why we are reciting 73rd verse of 18th chapter, right? Which clearly says, Nashto Mohasvatirudva Tvat Prasadan Maya Chuta. By your grace, very clearly, on our own intellect, we won't be able to understand that. Tat prasadan maya achyuta. So, we are seeking His grace, even to understand this, Our small buddhi, what is going to understand? Nothing. But if His grace comes, and it will come one day, believe you me, mark my word, it will come. Anyway. Nashto moha smrutirlabdha tat prasadan mayachyuta sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanan tava.